Are fascists outside the Dems Republican division? Fascists don't exist in this country. Fascists do not exist in America. There are no fascists in 2021 in the United States, unless you're counting the future of the DSA. And that's where I think fascism might come from. It's going to come from the DSA, the Democratic Party, the AOC wing of the Democratic Party, plus neoconservatism. Look, AOC plus neoconservatism equals fascism. If there's going to be fascism in this country, that's where it's going to come from. So the people you want to look out for and watch out for when it comes to the rise of fascism, and I'm saying this unironically, I'm not saying this as a joke, unironically, people like Walsh. They are combining neoconservatism when it comes to foreign policy with democratic socialism, so-called, at home, which is a form of American chauvinism and American racism, basically. That's where you're going to find fascism come from. It's going to, listen, fascism's not going to come from people with pickup trucks and people who care about the Second Amendment and militia people or whatever. Fascism will come from Reddit in this country. Fascism will come from Reddit in this country. Or whatever equivalent to fascism there is, it'll come from Reddit in this country. It's not going to come from these rural people or Trump supporters or whatever. It's going to come from Pokemon-loving Redditors who get hard-ons at the idea of going to war with China over Taiwan. Remember, fascism is about war. It's always been about war. The current CPUSA is lying to you and telling you that fascism is just about when you're a big meanie and you're Trump and you go on stage and you say mean things and you're not politically correct. No, actually, fascism is about war, and Trump was not a warmonger. He was less of a warmonger than the Democrats that the CPUSA shill for. Remember, fascism is about war. It's about war. It's the most important thing about fascism is war. That is, I could actually say with confidence that war is pretty much the only thing that defines fascism. There's no meaning to fascism it's literally just about making your entire economy about war. It's about making the whole country about going to war. And by war, I don't mean defensive wars. I mean going on military adventures to save your crumbling economy. You have a crumbling and bankrupt economy, and the way you get bailed out of it is you mobilize your country for war and you go to war. That's what they're trying to do with China. That's where you're going to find something like fascism. So, you know what that means, actually? It's not that fascism is outside of this division. Fascism is within it. Fascism's going to be inside of it. It's going to be right here in the belly of it. That's where you're going to find fascism. Think about this, guys. Remember how I said fascism is liberal social issues and democratic socialism plus neoconservatism? Where do Democrats and Republicans tend to align the most on? Usually here in the center. At the center of the establishment, you have Marco Rubio, you have war hawks, who are also socially liberal and also, somewhat democratic socialist at home. Yeah, it's foreign policy. That's what unites these two the most. So if you want to talk about where fascism is going to come from, it's going to be here. But the CPUSA isn't running on the CPUSA doesn't care about opposing the wars. They just care about fighting over abortion.